think we have some of the best students in the country. And I'm not talking about academics. I'm talking about people that have a general commitment to other people. And I'm not sure that you would have that in most business schools in this country. Not suggesting that they're not great students, but I'd like to think that ours show a level of compassion and consideration towards public service that you just wouldn't get anywhere else.
The Canadian Forces has a significant need for men and women, specifically in the officer corps, who have an understanding of how business works. I think one of the common misperceptions about the military and government is that you simply make a request for procurement or resources and it's given to you. But with national or federal level budgets affecting our daily jobs, the management of those funds and the management of our resources is extremely valuable. And it's the creative minds who are able to come up with solutions for resources and funding that are able to actually provide the commanders with the most solutions.
The Business Administration program at RMC offers its courses in both official languages. Our student-to-professor ratio is one of the best in the country. Regardless of whether you're taking a business course in your second, third, or fourth year, the likelihood that your professor is going to know your first name and where you come from is fairly high.
The profs are amazing, they're second to none. They've been doing this for years. We're given textbooks that are up to date, new material all the time, as well as class sizes. You know, the biggest class I was in this semester was 15 people, the smallest was 4, so you get a lot of hands-on interpersonal time with the teachers, which you don't get at many other universities. The teachers do not hesitate to make themselves available for you. They offer a lot of one-on-one tutoring anytime. You can send them an email, give them a phone call at home. They're there at your every need. So each week there's a deliverable, and finish up the deliverable a couple days early, send it to the prof, and go in and see him. He basically marks it beforehand and says this is what you need to do to improve to get a better mark, and we're able to tailor our learning to best fit the needs of the course. The profs don't come here for the money. They come here for the relationships that they build with the students.
We cover all of the important administration points that you'll need later in your career, but we also have a unique nature to our program, and that is our core curriculum. So all of our students have a bit of Renaissance flavor to our courses. So it means that they cover politics, civics, law, something that most business students wouldn't have across Canada.
You get an all-around education, and that definitely means a lot to have the RMC behind your name when you get out of here. So.
RMC has a general business program, more than a specific one. Students who go on to become officers in the Canadian military have to be generalists. Unlike their civilian counterparts, they're not employed in one specific role throughout their careers. When the students graduate from RMC, they go on to be an officer, and even though they may be specialized in accounting, they may be capable of eventually becoming a controller or working in the financial world within the military, they'll find themselves posted year after year. Every year or two, they'll find themselves in a new location, doing different jobs, different routines. They may find themselves in Africa, they may find themselves in Europe, they may find themselves on a base, they may find themselves in a field unit or a headquarters.
We prepare you specifically for your career in the forces. Our program is designed to give you a leg up in being not only a leader, which is what we'd like to prepare everybody to be here, but an effective manager and providing you those basic skills. You can go into just about any managerial job and have an understanding of the important facets of that particular function.
My name is John Carswell. I'm a graduate of RMC, class of 78. I took the commerce program here at RMC. I get more recognition for the fact I went to RMC than when I'm interviewed than for the fact I've got an MBA, because a lot of people have MBAs. And so I think that if you want to go to a good school with a great experience and take business, I think I could think of no better place.
Our students tend to look at the world in a light of saying, how can I achieve specific objectives? How can I attain goals? How can I balance my time? How can I take different challenges I'm being thrown at, whether they're being thrown at me, and turn those into a positive outcome?
I think the biggest lesson that I took from RMC is learning how to operate within the rules, within a bigger construct where I couldn't do anything that I wanted. I had to operate within a certain framework to get what I wanted done.
I hire a lot of people. I hire people with MBAs and degrees in finance, and people with general university backgrounds, engineering.
RMC is the place to come and make mistakes. You want to make your mistakes here. You want to learn from your mistakes here. And another training environment may not offer that. And when you make your mistakes once you get out of here, they can prove more costly. And so this is definitely a safe environment to get your feet wet and to feel yourself out, learn about yourself, and make your mistakes and develop as into a leader.
The thing about RMC that I think is very valuable in the armed forces is you learn about yourself and you learn about other people. So if you consider a civilian, they're in classes of 100, 200, they might live at home, they might live in residence. They're never put in a situation like you are at RMC with a whole bunch of people under stress. So that's a very important thing, the teamwork, the ability to know what you're like under stress and deal with other people.
It's about playing sports. It's about the trials and tribulations of having to get up and do parade or shine your boots or be inspected. I don't know if you can create bonds like that living in a dorm at any other university. I think that cohesion comes from your experience.
RMC offers a much more expensive program than offered in most universities. Most universities will offer the courses, the technical courses. You may be part of a student leadership program. You might join the student society as the president of the student society, but these are voluntary activities. RMC would offer an environment for skills that the individual may want to achieve. Many civilian institutions don't address that. If you come to class, you come to class. If you choose not to come to class, that's fine too. Right? Then if you want to speak up in class, you can speak up. If you don't want to speak up in class, you don't have to. You can't get away with that in RMC. In RMC, professors will be looking at you. What are your views on a particular issue? They'll be asking questions. You're generally required to have a greater presence in the classroom than you may at a civilian university, where you can hide behind a much larger class size.
And you learn so much about yourself, not yourself, you learn about school, you learn about the world, you learn about everything, and you're able to get some pretty significant experiences while you're here.
My rule in business is you hire people for attitude. It's very hard to change attitudes. If someone has a bad attitude, you're not going to change it. So no matter how skilled they are, if their attitude's wrong, they can affect your group or your team. What I found is the RMC graduates, and I have hired a few that I hire, have a lot of experience in things other than academics.
Leadership is absolutely required. People need direction in order to perform.
I think where RMC is very useful to students is that it can take students and show them or point them in a direction of leadership or toward becoming more effective leaders, as well as gaining an education. I think they put students in an environment where leadership grows and develops in the individual.
I think that one of the best things RMC has going for it with regards to leadership is the opportunities available. What it does provide is an opportunity for people who are willing to take on the leadership roles themselves. For example, if there's a cadet who has a desire to start a club or take a trip or represent the country in some formal fashion, RMC is by far the best place to do it because we're resourced for it, and nationally we are expected to accomplish a certain amount of those tasks.
Any experience you have with leadership is a good experience. So I went to CMR, and then when I was in second year I was a cadet section commander. When I was in fourth year at RMC I was the commandant's aide and the public relations officer. And so what you find is you have to write people's assessments, you have to deal with motivating them and thinking about them and their needs as opposed to you and your needs.
I think we foster an environment in which people can thrive and become better leaders. Just the responsibility that you show with one another each day is a form of leadership. Being there for other people is a form of leadership.
One of the leadership moments that I experienced as a cadet was working with the first years when I was in third year. I was a section commander for the new recruits, and so as such I was mandated to oversee their training and make sure that their performance was up to a certain standard. And that was the first time in my military career where I fully appreciated the weight of responsibility, that the performance of many other people hinged on my success to motivate them and ensure that they were following the rules.
RMC puts you in a position to lead right off the bat. First year, you're subordinate. Second year, you're subordinate. But third year, you're put into a leadership role, and you can be put in charge of training fresh recruits right off the city street. So that's not an opportunity that you're going to get at any other university. You're forced to deal with things that you never thought you'd have to deal with in a safe environment.
And that's applicable anywhere. Leadership, the fundamentals behind the leadership role can be applied in civilian industry, or in civilian business, it can be applied in the military, it can be applied during graduate school, it can be applied just in their own daily life.
As a squadron commander here at RMC, one of the biggest functions of leadership that transferred from my time here at RMC was dealing with people. The issues that you deal with as a cadet are the same as the issues you deal with as an officer in the Canadian Forces. So learning how to interact with people, learning how to motivate them, learning how to take care of them, learning how to discipline them, all of those are difficult things that don't come naturally to many people. And that has taken place both as a cadet and as an officer.
You learn to interact with your peers when they're supervising you, when you're supervising them, when you're in a team together, and that's very valuable experience. RMC is a place that you don't want to be unless you want to be here, because it's hard and it's demanding, but if you get through it in one piece and you get your degree and you go off to face the world, there's no better place to go.
People don't come here because it's the #1 research institution in Canada. They don't come here because it's the largest institution or the best known. They come here because they want to be a part of something bigger. They want to serve Canada and they want to protect their people. And standing here in the classroom allows me to give you some of the skills that makes you better at doing that.
The most satisfying aspect of leadership is knowing that Canada's soldiers rely on you to make the right decision. I've never in my life felt direct trust as much as I have in the military. Knowing that the men whose lives I was responsible for, they trusted me to protect them and to make the right decision.
If you're committed to people and you're interested at some point in time in having your own business, or taking care of people or getting things from point A to point B, then business administration's for you.